An exclusive XM presentation.
Bob Saget is about to get unmasked.
Unmasked. Truth in comedy.
Swimming through the inner soul of the comedic mind.
Unmasked. On XM Satellite Radio.
Uncensored conversation with America's most compelling comedic minds.
Unmasked.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
The jokes that I did on that show, a lot of people gave me a lot of shit for them. Like, who wrote your jokes? I'm like, I don't know, your mother. Give me a fucking break, you know? I wrote the jokes with two Canadian guys, and they were great, great writers. The jokes were like 16% less funny. That's how it works as an exchange. And I poach and I come back, and I love it there. Just fucking around. I lived there for a while and banged half the country, which is fucking awesome.
This is Unmasked with Bob Saget, an XM exclusive comedy presentation. Now, from XM's Performance Theater in Washington, D.C., here's Ron Bennington.
Thank you. Welcome to Unmasked. This is the show that we sit down and talk to comedians about their craft, how they get it going. The gentleman we have on tonight's show has had 3 hit television shows. It's almost impossible to be able to pull that off, and yet he's done it. In the meantime, he's directed films, and he's got a very healthy stand-up comedy career going on for himself, and a brand new special ad on HBO. Let's bring him out, Bob Saget. Bob Saget, let him hear it.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, God. Just not necessary. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. That's so beautiful.
Yeah, they love you. Jimmy Norton has recently done this show.
Oh, recently. Months ago.
Yeah, we don't know when
Wherever
this is
we
air.
are in the ethos of
Right.
XM.
But he did sit in that chair.
So there could be leakage.
I believe him to be clean. I really do.
He is. He is.
I read the book, though, and I'm not sure, but...
I've actually given him a full lower body massage with Purell, which is not regular Purell, but Purell, which is Mel Tillis, who was a big, big stutterer back in the day.
Older people love that joke.
There's 7 of them here, which is, and the rest are running the nation. But I was at Walter Reed a few minutes ago. I actually went and visited the USO people.
Yeah, you were a little bit late here, and that's
why I was late. I was visiting them, and boy, so it's good. It's a little bit of a segue to come in and talk about comedy and stuff.
And again, it's still no excuse. You you had a booking here.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You know what? You're right. It was. It's pretty moving.
Yeah.
To be in there, I really couldn't. Everything's sick. Every piece of sick sense of humor that I have and own and proud to call my own, it's just out the fucking window right now. I don't know what to do.
Because you see these young men who are there in all different stages, and you know their lives have changed. And then the strange thing for you is, a lot of them grew up on you.
Yes.
A lot of them grew up on your show. And that's got to mean something to you.
Well, the joke, and for some reason I always forget to do it, which is a lot of girls come up and they say not sick people necessarily, or people that have been in hospital situations, which is my biggest audience, because they're forced to watch me.
Right.
They're in confined quarters, and their televisions, it's like it's a dentist's office pretty much. Can we start over? Anyway, but a lot of girls,
we're not even running. Don't even worry about this.
We're not even doing this.
Yeah, we were told. First 10 minutes, he's shit. Don't worry.
This is
we're going to pick it up.
This is a photo shoot, I was told.
Yeah.
Girls come up and they go, oh, my God, I grew up watching you. And I go, well, good. Now you're going to go down watching me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Mel Tillis used to tell
Mel
that.
Tillis.
Much better.
First
5 minutes are shit? Is that what you've heard,
That's
too?
what I heard from your agent. He said,
right.
don't even roll anything.
Yeah, that's what he says when he looks at his penis. I think I'm back.
Yeah, I do. Well, we're about the 5-minute mark. That's perfect.
Wow, it's 5 minutes. These are like nice, smart people.
Yeah.
Where the hell is everybody?
Yeah.
Where do the regular people go that are like monsters?
No, do they come
to this? Do you guys come to this all the time?
Most of them, I think it's their first time here.
They can't speak, but they can laugh.
Yeah, they can laugh.
or make sounds with their hands.
But even earlier I said, no, some of you can have questions for Bob. They all went, no, we have none. We just want to look at him like he's a zoo animal.
Right. I'm a lot like a zoo animal. You ever
Yeah.
see a monkey when they start to do themselves and then throw it at the people?
That was Jimmy Norton. That was the last one.
He'll pick and flick, won't he?
All right, so to get back
You ever see that video of the monkey that pees in his own mouth?
Yeah.
All right. You want to buy a copy of it?
Yeah.
I sell a lot of animals peeing in their mouths.
But to get back to this, you had this...
I've got footage of my mom.
Yeah. Really?
No, I'm not doing nothing. She's not doing anything dirty.
Yeah.
Not unless you think her peeing in a monkey's mouth is dirty. But you know what? She's not going to hear this, I don't think. Right? And don't anybody listening to this say anything to my mom, because I will be in fucking trouble.
Right.
If I say on XM, first thing, 8 minutes in,
Right.
that I have video of my mother. Will you ask me another question, please, Ron?
I will say this. At this point, I believe the mask is still on. I don't...
This is the day the clown cried.
Yeah.
This is the Jerry Lewis movie that never aired.
Although I did see a copy.
You did?
An animated version. I don't know where they had some of the stuff. But it's
right.
cute.
I saw the
For
Anne
kids.
Frank thing in claymation. It was hilarious.
But you can say Anne Frank. That's okay.
Right,
But
well,
if I said it, everybody like, oh, jeez.
well,
crossed the line.
there's tragedy plus time, except for a few
Yeah.
things. I guess she falls into one of those.
Yeah, she's one of them.
She's
the
very,
other
very
one, oddly,
smart.
is Lincoln. No one has gotten over Lincoln yet.
I got over it.
Oh, yeah, well.
But people don't laugh. I had a joke, one of my first jokes. My mother was born February 12th, Abraham Lincoln's birthday. No one's ever laughed at it. They get offended still. I said to celebrate my dad on February 12th, Abraham Lincoln's birthday. My dad celebrated by taking my mom to a play, and he shot her in the head.
Well,
This
I
is the
thought
best.
you weren't going to laugh.
This is better than Miami Beach audience. You guys finally. That's the first time that joke ever got anything, and I realized it's because I started with my mom out of the box.
Right. Oh,
Whoa,
out of the
a
box.
double.
Normally it's into the box.
That's a double. Wow, hold the pickle.
Yeah.
But no, I can't believe I talk about her. She's amazing. She's amazing.
Well, it is an odd thing for you because you're...
An asshole.
Yeah, you are an asshole. Thank you.
Can't believe I talk about my mom. Well, that's interesting for you.
Why do you do that? Everybody says, oh, he's the nicest guy.
I guess
and the
so.
act is as dirty as you can possibly make it.
Not really. I think. Do you think? Did you see the HBO thing?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
It's pretty dirty, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My frame of reference for filth is probably skewed.
Yeah. I did go to the Aristocrats, and it was actually to what would be considered an art house theater, an indie theater, and people were still walking out. They still went, this went too far, which became entertainment for me just to see when people would break and walk out.
A lot of people are hit very hard because they have sex with their own families, and they just don't.
Sure.
And they don't want to sit through that.
Right.
You know? And if you think your dad or mom is hot because you were young and didn't know any better, that movie would maybe offend you. If you had a good family relationship, then you'd probably love it as a piece of art.
Yeah.
I didn't make the thing. You know, I just showed up, and 2 years later, Penn and Paul, who, you know, I've been through so much crap. You know, we've had a lot of loss in our family, not yours and mine, because I don't think we're related.
Well, no.
Have
We're
you had
Gentiles.
a lot of loss? Have you had loss in your family?
Yeah, I think every family has some amount of loss.
Some people don't, and they're huge families.
Yeah.
Just everybody's alive. It's a real. They
I
just
know they
don't
won't
die.
die.
They're born and
well, that
they
was
live
Noah's family for some reason.
Yeah.
Went on and on.
A couple of his kids look like animals.
Yeah. But so to get back, you think a lot of why you like to do this shock kind of humor is because
I don't even look at it as shock kind of humor.
It's not shock?
No, I'm just I like a 10-year-old that thinks these words are funny.
Right. So
I'm just
it's
a
not
guy
like,
that my dad. This is how I made my dad laugh.
Yeah.
I was raised to do this.
So there's not like a Lenny Bruce thing.
I love Lenny Bruce.
I want to do something to change society or these words. You just still, almost in a childlike way, like to be a little bit shocking.
Well, there's actually probably more meaning to it now that you put it that way. But I'm not setting out to change anything, but I do think that repression of art and spirit and language is something that offends me. So I guess by doing this, it's a little bit of a coming out party for me.
But
in terms of why can't I say that if I'm not doing it out of anger?
Mm-hmm.
And I try not to use the C word that much because, you don't want to offend all the C's in your life.
Right. And you want to use it for that one special occasion.
for that one special
right.
someone.
Yeah.
See someone.
But, I mean, it is an interesting thing because we have seen, particularly over the last couple of years, some people whose careers imploded. And you're a guy, you're tied in with network TV.
I've imploded in my own way. A lot of times people go, it's so funny, I was talking to some friends, and I don't like to talk about other well-known people. A couple of friends I went to dinner with were talking about a guy who's a pretty huge star, and they were saying, I think he's done. I think his career's over. And I'm like, whoa. First thing, I don't even know what that means, because what if you've made 3 of the best movies ever made? What if you've made 2 of the greatest concert films ever made? What if you've made whatever the hell you do for a living in the arts? That you have to maintain that level of having. Some people don't want to have retro rockets strapped to them and have to be in 9th gear to be the AA plus of their world. The guy, oh my God, he did 4 hours on stage. Did you see that? Or, I don't know. To stay in the zone your whole career is easy to judge someone.
Well, tell me what the zone means to you. What is that when you get to that point?
It's when underage girls, whoops.
Right, there we go. Mask is back
My
on.
bad. I think it's just when it's like anything. It's like athletics, It's like when it's like athletics.
Right.
I've heard of it.
Right.
I've seen people in athletics. It's when you're just your art and your craft and everything you're about. There's no fear. I guess the zone is just it's working because you have a purpose. You want to either tell a story, whether you're acting or writing or directing, and it just what you want to do, and for some reason everything aligns. Yeah, I get exactly what you just said.
And at other points, I mean, you would want that to happen every day if you could.
Always did.
So why doesn't it at different times in your life?
Good question. Why are there 60,000 Screen Actors Guild members, and the phone rings for 1,000 of them, and the rest are all looking in Dramalog trying to get a one-act play up in L.A. somewhere, which I did. I didn't have I would do a pilot a year, which is why there have been so many plane crashes. I would do. It's very hard to sit that long after I've anally raped you, and if you're working for one of the smaller carriers.
And why wouldn't you?
You know about that Continental flight, and they had the poo come out of the thing. You know about that? That was great, don't you think?
So you would do a pilot a year,
right?
And
and they didn't. First thing, you're more linear than anyone I've ever spoken to.
Well, I have to be.
And I
have to be because you're trying to shake me off from time to time.
Not at all. I want you to stay right with me. You're actually my guidance counselor right now.
Okay. And
you're my Charlie Babbitt.
And I really think you're going to stay after show because
I will.
I do have the feeling that this is. Because you're so quick and able to roll, and you're fantastic at run-on sentences. That's
all for editing. That's how they have to either use the whole thing or we're all fucked.
I would imagine it kept you out of a lot of tight spots in your life, whether it was school or those kind of "do you really love me" things. I'm sure you're able to get out of that.
You mean the whole Boy George thing I went through?
Yes, that whole thing. I didn't want to bring it up. I'm glad you did.
Do you really want to hurt me? Is what I thought that was. I think, Rodney Dangerfield was a friend of mine, and let me pick that up. And let me pick up my friend's deceased name.
Yeah, it was large, though.
It's a big one. He's a good one. And he always said that it was like the Jewish guy dancing for the border guard. Mm-hmm. You're trying to cross the border, and he's like, are you funny? And he's like, you do 6 minutes, and then he doesn't shoot you.
So as long as you keep moving, they can't hit you.
That's I don't have that approach as much anymore. I do when I'm going out. When I shot this HBO thing, I shot it at NYU at the Skirball Theater, and all of the girls in the audience, it's really strange, look like Jerry Seinfeld. I'd never seen anything like it before. They all have dark features. They're cute. Not that I'm saying I want to make out with Jerry, but they had that good big eyes, and God, I want to make love to Jerry Seinfeld.
Well, sure. Why wouldn't you?
But only if he was a pilot.
And let me just say again, thanks for answering that question for me. That was really great.
So I would say.
But basically, and you are good at it. Is it something that you were good at as a kid? Could you always keep things moving and lighten things up?
Yes. I made a student film when I was 17 called Beach Blanket Blintzes, and it was the worst thing ever. It's worse than the title that I just said. It's about a 50-foot blintz that turns people into sour cream. And I put great. And I put everybody in it that was my friends or kind of rented friends because I had no friends, and it was in Philly. And then their parents came, so I'd had 300 people in the audience. It was the first time I did stand up, so I talked for 15 minutes, and I didn't stop. I had a couple jokes. They were pretty much, do you have to go to the bathroom? Now's a good time. You like that? I think that's
works.
I think somebody. It still works. That is so killer because there's no setup, there's no premise, and there's no punchline. Basically, just it's a stale fart.
By the way, she is so humiliated that she giggled at that joke. She's like, "Why? Why am I the one?"
I think she's laughing at something else.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well.
But it was the first time I got up and did stand up, and then my first paying gig was Beaver College, an all girls school. I'm not kidding. And it was in Wyncote, Pennsylvania, and that was some gig.
So, at what point do you take that?
Beaver College.
Yeah, the Beaver. What were they though? What was that? They were the fighting.
The fighting waxers.
Yeah, the waxing beavers.
The waxing beavers.
Yeah. So at that point, you said
the Brazilians.
I have some kind of hook for this. Let me
the
take
front
the
to backs. The pap smears.
Yeah.
That's where you go too far.
Yeah.
Pap smear. No one laughs at pap smear.
Well, you can't.
Pap smear, you know what pap smear was in the Old West is when you made fun of your pappy. Why'd you have to pap smear me?
Yeah.
I told everybody in town what a dirty varmint you are. That's a 70s sound. All I do, when I did the video show, I just did bad Mel Blanc impressions. Ooh, I hate you pap smear. I hate you pap smear. I don't know. So, yes, I've always been a free associative kind of whatever the hell I did.
And the act hasn't really changed.
Has not grown or changed.
Do you think?
No, it has.
Do you remember, like, when you said to yourself, wait, I've got the... I mean, it was
I
before
wrote
you
5 minutes at 17. I wrote 5 minutes of material, and the jokes were, I have the brain of a German Shepherd and the body of a 16-year-old boy, and they're both in my car, and I want you to see them. And my mother is Gumby, my father's Pokey, and I'm Mr. Potato Head. And I have no friends, and I have no life, and I live in a moped. It was this riff of stupidity. And then I never got to go to camp when I was a kid. My parents thought I'd get embarrassed undressing in front of little boys, but I've changed a lot because I kind of like it now. That was the joke. And I would go, that's not true. I would go, that's not true. I like it a lot. That's not true. I'm not a senator. That was the so that was the now my jokes are really I ran into Ray Romano, and I said to him that my act is his act, but it's just as all this other way of talking in it, but it's about someone just like literally crapped in the studio. It was like a huge it was like the thing from Pan's Labyrinth. Did you see that? I'm going to go back to it.
Yeah.
Did you see that movie?
Yeah.
He has eyes in his hands. Could you imagine what you could do with that? You'd be able to look. You could reach around. You can do a reach around and see everything. So your doctor appointments would be completely different if your doctor could, if he was getting a colonoscopy and he's the beast from Pan's Labyrinth. That's your doctor. And he checks your anus right before he eats the head off a fairy.
Now, is this the?
Is this
the HBO special right now?
Kind of. No, actually no, but that's my new stuff.
that you wrote just now.
No, in the HBO special, I do find things funny that are CGI characters in movies. I laugh at Smeagol, but I call him Schmeagol because I like the H, adding it in because it sounds like Bob Schmeigel, who's really funny. And I and I like E.T. because he had some CGI, but not really. And Shakira, who's also a CGI. And leprechauns and things that aren't real, I find. And I like to tell the 20-year-old audience, the college audience, and yell at them and try to parent them and explain that those things aren't real. Please don't think they are. And I think I'm helping people in that regard.
So you work a lot of colleges now.
Pardon me?
You work in a lot of colleges.
I do. I've been enjoying it.
Do they expect to see your stand-up, or do they expect to see...
They think I'm going to dust bust and
your TV
and have
career
a bouffant hairdo. No, I think they really are. Everyone knows what's going on for some reason. There's been enough bootleg, YouTube crap, which is upsetting because if you look at someone's, I'm happy I have a special coming on that has the same material in it because you could basically all the cell phones cut together. I could have a Verizon special, just every angle is ass.
I mean, that is the beautiful thing for you though, because you're a stand-up. They couldn't really say this is who he is. Like if all you were an actor, to be able to shake out and change your character a little bit, you had to take control of that rather than wait for the part.
And that stand-up it's really interesting. It's not something that I set out to do. It kind of just found me. It was all accidental. I moved to L.A. When I was 21. I was flown out I won a Student Academy Award, a Merit Award, for a documentary I made about a young boy that had his face reconstructed. It was a serious 11-minute documentary. So I meet all these people, and, very cool. And then I go to the Comedy Store, and instead of going to USC Film Graduate School, I ended up at the Comedy Store working for nothing, and hosting the room for 7 or 8 years, but one of the hosts and meeting all the people that came out of the late 70s and the early 80s and hanging out with everybody, that's known today. And
that was basically your graduate school.
That was my graduate school. I went to acting school at the same time. I did the Groundlings for a year, the workshops, and I just kept trying to learn. All I wanted to do was direct movies. That's all I wanted to do, and I just didn't even see myself as an actor, and neither do a lot of people. But I love all of it very much. So I just keep going forward in whatever doors seem to open.
And was that a matter of the networks going, we went to this club, we saw this guy, we like his personality, let's try to find something for him?
That happened. The first thing I got was this, Rodney Dangerfield put me on his Young Comedians show, and that was the one. And Sam Kinison, of course, was on that. And I actually got Sam his first spot at the Comedy Store. That's how old I am. And he didn't need any help, But I was like, hey, Mitzi, watch this guy. I'm like, oh, he's good. he's yelling at the audience, I hope your firstborn comes out looking like ground chuck. And it's like, whoa, he's nice to the people.
And I think that's for people like that don't know stand-up would think, well, you and Sam and different people might not get along well.
Just the opposite. Anybody like really that loved entertaining people and any hardcore people that weren't evil, because a lot of stand-ups, not a lot, some stand-ups don't take the positive road in human interaction. You know what I mean? Somebody will go, I really like you, and I'll go, why? He'll go, wow, I'm a big fan of you. I was like, okay, fuck, whatever. It's like, whoa, thank you. It's really nice to see you, sir. But, I've been, one of the first things I did after, I was on a William Morris tape, which was like 50 comics. And so after the Rodney thing, I was just, I think it was a tape from the Rodney special, or it might have been from Norm Crosby's Comedy Shop. But this producer, Bob Shanks, saw me and put me on the morning program on CBS, which was on against Good Morning America. So that was like my first thing. And then they fired me. They said I was too hot for morning television.
How long did you get with that?
5 months.
5 months, and it was just you running around doing man on the street stuff?
Some man on the street stuff. I was like the third host. Mark McEwen was the weather guy, but interviewed the music acts. And it was Mariette Hartley and Rollin Smith. And then one morning I showed up and my chair was gone. My interview chair was gone. And the boss said, we're going to try to get your chair back. I didn't have a chair. So I was on the steps going, it's 18 minutes after the hour, And then I thought I was going to...
Was it great money for you at the time? I mean,
yeah,
it was
more money than in comedy clubs. I've been touring. I've been opening for like Kenny Loggins and Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons and Gino Vanelli.
That had to be strange. I mean,
I was 22 and I was in Carnegie Hall opening for Gino Vanelli, who people might not know him, but I just want to stop. And he had a big wiener, and well, looked it. I don't know if he packed it or not. But
was that strange, gigs? Because nobody
was pretty strange.
Nobody knew who you were.
A really big one. What if you had an eye in the end of your wiener?
Yeah, the mask is back on.
To God, do you hear what I'm saying? It's not even a mask. What if everything else is the interview mask? This is the rest of it.
This is the real stuff.
But if you have an eye in your wiener, isn't everything a point of view then? And you could. do dental visits.
So you're doing the CBS.
Well, right before I got that, I had one of the biggest honors that I could have had, any young comedian could have, and I was in this Richard Pryor movie called Critical Condition. I end up in High Point, North Carolina. Michael Apted, really good director, directs this thing, and I'm hanging out with Richard Pryor, and it was and a bunch of people were in it, really cool people, Joe Mantegna, and let me name everybody. But Richard became kind of a friend, so. And he was my idol, obviously.
Right.
You know, it's every comic's idol. There's not many people that will ever be better. And then right after that, the producers of Full House saw that movie, Critical Condition, Tom Miller and Bob Boyette, and they did Laverne and Shirley and Mork and Mindy with Gary Marshall and Ed Milkus. It was all those people that did all the shows that were popular at the time, good commercial family stuff. So I was out of work. I had a baby, and I said, yeah, of course I'm going to do Full House. The next thing I knew, I was holding a dustbuster and hugging everyone for 8 years.
Well, I mean,
I don't even regret it now. Then
you were a little worried about it.
Dave Coulier used to say, if you're very quiet, no matter where you are in the world, you can hear Bob complaining.
And what was it because, like, all right, this is fantastic to be handed this gift for my family, but this is not who I am? That was the...
Well, I did, what was weird was I went, I'm playing a character.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me is this. I go home. I don't curse around my baby.
Right.
I don't grab my kid. And well, now I do. But
right.
The aristocrats. No, but then... But then you summon it up. It's a character you're playing. But when it's 8 years... it's not like when someone does a movie and 1 minute, Robin Williams is doing Flubber and the next he's doing 1 hour photo.
Right.
So here's Family Guy and then here's Pervy Guy and it's Independent Guy. But if you're doing 8 years of something, odds are you're not going to spend the next 8 years being Hannibal Lecter.
Right.
If, you don't hang with your family the first 8 and then eat them the second 8. But
while you were on TV playing this character and you were kind of, it was a family that everybody would go, oh, that seems like the perfect family. Then you would go home.
No mom.
Yeah, right. No, kids still date. You're right. But and your own kids are growing up at the same time that the show is running.
Literally like 8 or 9 years. 3 girls are mine that I know of. All about 8 years younger than the 3 girls on the show.
But did they ever say to you, like at home, why can't you be more like that guy on TV? Like,
actually, at some points they would ask me to be less like him.
Really?
Well, I have a dustbuster because if something breaks in the house that's glass, if you drop a bong or your crack pipe, you kids out there know what happens. I actually found rolling papers in my house last week. And I was really excited. And I went to my oldest daughter, and this is what I always do. And in the HBO special, I find a thong, which is not something that's considered contraband. Mm-hmm. It's just a band. But I found the papers, and I said to my oldest, "Is this yours?" She went, "No." And I went, "Oh, this is going to be so much fun." I got so excited. And then I went to my second daughter because she's not the first, and no, I call her the center child, which is material, but it's because the world revolves around her. But and then I said, "Is this yours?" And she went, "No, but I think it's my friends who might have dropped it." But she was like, she copped to it right away.
Right.
And they were really long rolling papers. I mean, the kid must have a huge amount of pot. It was like foot-long rolling papers.
And plus, these kids, they don't know how to lick it and put them together anymore. They really do need the one big single paper.
Hello?
Things have changed.
Use Dad's little... I have that thing with the thing you crank.
The grinder?
Yeah, the monkey used to wrap it for me.
Yeah.
And Geppetto.
Yeah.
So then I did the Full House. Look what I did for you. I'm
yeah.
trying.
Oh, you're back. Yes, you are.
And then I did the video thing. It was a special. They said, "You want to host this thing of people getting hit in the nuts?"
Mm-hmm.
And honest to God, I was at Full House, and I watched a 20-minute tape, which was the pilot. which was 7 years of accumulating people's videos for 7 years from all over the world.
I remember that these would show up like in TV guides saying, if you have videos, send them in.
Yeah,
I think
they took out ads in People magazine.
Yeah, and I remember reading them, and I said, what a stupid fucking idea for a show.
It changed the world.
And then once it got on TV.
Yeah.
And I mean, the weird thing about that show is I do remember watching that show with my kids and having, really the whole family fall out. You could, laugh your ass off at stuff that your kids would laugh at, too.
And what's good is it's the kind of show that allows the family to hurt each other as well.
Right.
It's a very, Moe, Larry, Curly kind of thing. You watch that and you go, that's funny, isn't it?
Now when Dad is on the roof, run out there with a camera. You might make some cash if he falls.
Get the wiffle ball bazooka.
Yeah. So you're running both of those shows?
No, if I'd have been running them, I'd be a lot wealthier.
Okay. You were in both of those shows.
I'm a hired hand in those. And
top 10 shows at the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
And neither show really was your sense of humor, though, right?
No, it was my sense of humor retrofit into how do I do that. Mm-hmm. And it was really good experience. Crazy good experience. Sitcom. It's 4 cameras. It's how you cheat your body out.
Right.
The reality is it's acting. You're supposed to be the character. And in my character, when you watch it on the air, you have synthesizer organ music while I'm sitting on the edge of the bed saying, honey, you really can't have animals in the house. And then Jesse, my brother-in-law, lives with me and goes, not with the hair. He cares about his hair.
Right.
I always said he was Fonzie and I was, Richie, and Dave was either Ralph or Potsy, and I guess Michelle was Tom Bosley. Just knew more than anyone.
And I guess it is weird because there you are with these people. They're co-workers, but they're also kids.
Right.
They have kid problems, and you must still kind of check in on them from time to time. And
it is very weird that we all stayed as close as we have. Uh-huh. It's a very, very strange thing, and I think it's a really positive thing. I mean, it says a lot about as nuts as Dave and John and I were doing it. I mean, I did some terrible things at the show, things that I shouldn't have done, and here's one of them. Well, they had a stand-in, and actually, Ashley Mary Kate liked this story because it's something that no one knew about. When they were little, everybody was young. Candace was 9 when the show started, and Jody was like 4 or 5, and Ashley Mary Kate were 9 months. So you let us walk around. It's almost like they don't know what we're talking about. We're talking in code anyway, and everything has to do with the body part and what we're going to do with it. And Dave can fart on cue, which they understood that.
Right, sure.
But they had this doll that was supposed to simulate Michelle, a plastic doll that was a stand-in while the girls were in school or playgroup or whatever. They had them when they were real young. And so it was about that tall. And so they'd give it to me to do scenes with on camera blocking day. So I'd be sitting on a bed with this doll, and the legs are the kind that would fly back and stuff. Well, they didn't at first, but I mean, it was a doll, right? And needless to say, the crew was laughing, thought it was great because they'd never seen that many positions, twirling and all kinds of stuff, but. And then one of the moms, bless her, came down and said, the kids are watching on the monitor upstairs. I said, well, turn off the monitor. I'm working. So we with all the stuff that happened on that show, because of the kind of people that we are, we have stayed closer than you can even. It's just weird. I did this this thing that was a DVD that Farce of the Penguins, this filthy penguin movie, which actually opened 2 weeks ago, actually a month ago. Maybe it's 6 weeks ago in Australia in theaters. They love it there.
Here it's released straight to DVD.
And it's done really, really well. Like they can't stock it. They're really happy. Blockbusters keep ordering it. It's like really good. I'm very happy about it. Sam Jackson and it was all comedians. And it was shot on. It wasn't shot. I mean, it's stock footage all cut together by Michael Miller, really good editor. And it's just we used 8mm beta. It looks like crap sometimes, but and the mouths don't move and the eyes don't move. It's a stoner movie.
Yeah.
And,
well, you open up saying, well, this is what they're thinking. You try to quick throw something in
There's
there.
19 disclaimers, and I just hope people are stoned. It's an 8-minute joke for 80 minutes. But anal rape is the linchpin of the film.
All film.
Lewis,
all film.
By the way, yes.
Yeah.
But Ten Commandments 2, do you want to go out on this is XM, but is that what you want to do?
Yeah, let's go in that.
All right. So when you're saying when the Red Seas parted and when his staff turned into a snake.
Anal.
Edit. Lewis Black accidentally violates Christina Applegate's character in the middle of the night. He puts it in Damon Wayans by accident, and then he puts it in her. It's all done in voiceover, so it's tasteful. Right. It doesn't happen until page 100. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make, I really don't know what the point is.
But it doesn't have to be.
The night that thing premiered was actually January 30th this year, and I was at the Conan O'Brien show, and my dad passed away. The moment I finished doing Conan, I found out my dad passed away. So I was a mess. Couldn't get a flight out. We had the big party that night. We didn't have a big party. We had a small party because there was no budget for the movie, but we had a party plan that I'm like, do I get on a plane? There is no plane now. The show's over. It's late. I'm not going to make it to JFK, yada, yada. So I was going to leave. I canceled the rest of the tour and went back the next morning, and my mom's like, no, you go do what you got to do. So I end up at a bar downtown where the party is with Lewis Black and Tracy Morgan and Gilbert. And then I had texted people telling them about my dad, and I'm there with my oldest daughter, who's amazing, and a girlfriend of hers who we lost her mother. It was like a big, I don't know, hospice-y kind of thing. And my girlfriend was there, whose name is Michelle, which I don't know what to tell you. Actually, Mary Kate met her, and I said, about a year ago, I said, this is my girlfriend, Michelle. And she said, what's her name? And I said, her name's Michelle. Mary Kate looked at me and went, nice.
Yeah.
But the bottom, what I was getting at 19 minutes ago, which this is the only part you'll use, right? Of the whole thing.
F.
Just maybe a transcript I can have. That's all.
Yeah, I'll get
That's
you
all.
that.
Just have it typed up. Was that I texted and Ashley and Mary Kate came to that party. Not that they needed to be in any. We need a picture. We haven't had one in a while.
All right, it's Unmasked with Bob Saget.
Is it over?
No, not at all. We are going to take some questions for you.
They speak?
Yes, they will occasionally speak, and they're ready to talk to us.
I haven't even talked about my special, have I?
Well, I want to get to that, too. We got plenty of time here.
Are you sure?
We got plenty of time, yeah.
That means you're cutting the shit out of the rest
We're
of it?
We're going to cut a lot of it out. Most of it will be just me talking about you.
I've been on things like that.
And then
it's just...
I'm going to have some Saget clips on the soundboard, and I'll drop them in.
Right.
Like
Mel Tillis.
Yeah, Mel Tillis.
That's good for the few old people.
Who did you base your career on? Mel Tillis. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I really love Dirty Work. Are you thinking
you.
about doing any more directing or maybe Dirty Work 2?
We actually talked about that. That movie is I'm very proud of it. I was just doing a cameo, and I did the cameo I did in Half Baked. More people probably saw but a lot of people saw Dirty Work now, which Norm wrote with Fred Wolf and Frank Sebastiano, and it's Artie Lang and it's Norm and it's Farley's last movie. And I wanted to come out with we're talking about a DVD, a Dirty Work, because they made us cut 5 minutes out of it. They didn't want an R-rated movie, and I wanted it to be R-rated. And everybody kind of fought us, and MGM and the producer kind of said, no, we got to go PG-13 because they don't make R-rated comedies. And then about 3 weeks later, Something About Mary came out. So proved it wrong. But thank you. I think it's a really funny movie, and I get a lot of that now, a lot of props from college people.
Well, I went to military school, and it went room to room to room to room. It was just everybody
must have been soiled.
Right.
I really appreciate that. As far as the sequel goes, I don't know, because, Jack Warden's no longer with us, and the premise was to get him a heart. So, we got a failed project.
How did you become involved with that?
Dirty Work, I'd wanted to do more directing stuff. I'd done a television movie years before called For Hope, which starred Dana Delaney, which was based on my sister Gay dying from scleroderma, this disease. Mm-hmm. So I've stayed on the board of the Scleroderma Research Foundation, and we do a lot of comedy, charity things. And so that movie kind of put me on the radar as a guy who loves directing.
Now,
and then
you've been
I got
involved
a shot.
with that charity for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever hear back from them like, we are a charity, we're trying to raise money?
Well, I'm on the board.
And you're
doing... I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing it. We've got like the board members we have are really they're amazing people. The head of our foundation, Luke Evnan, he's an amazing guy who runs it out of San Francisco. We raised $700,000 with Dana Carvey and Lily Tomlin at the last benefit, and we always use comedy as a palette for it. We're doing it in New York, November 6th at Caroline's. In L.A., we do the Wilshire, and Ray Romano did it because Lucien of the comic strip in New York passed away from scleroderma. So I actually got involved 18 years ago or 20 years ago before my sister got sick. She was alive and well with nothing wrong with her. And my friend Sharon Monsky, who became my friend, said, would you want to do this benefit? And at the time, the people were Rosie O'Donnell and... Had you heard of the disease? Never heard of the disease. Yeah. And Ellen DeGeneres, none of us had heard of it. None of us were known. We were just comics working the road. And I think Belzer was one of the first ones that ever did it, and Paul Provenza. They were right in the very beginnings of it. And Sharon just liked talented people and knew that with some Hollywood people you can raise some consciousness and try to raise some money. So she would do these benefits every year, and Robin Williams was the very first person that did it. And he's done the event for us like 6 times since then. He's very, very giving that way with us. And I just, one year my sister got sick, and then they said she's got something. We don't know what it is. And then I found out it was scleroderma. And then I had done the benefit the year before, and then she was in the audience one year. And it was bizarre because I was doing this weird orphan disease benefit and hadn't heard of it. And then a year later, she passed away from it. It was a very quick decline. And really bad care and real bad medicine. And ironically, here we are in the Capitol at Johns Hopkins is one of the best scleroderma research centers that we fund. There's a scleroderma center there, a center of excellence. And this guy, Dr. Fred Wigley, he's a rock star. I mean, he's curing a lot of people and putting other people into remission because it's a very, very horrible killer. But and another one of our board members is Karen Zucker, Jeff Zucker's wife. Her mother has scleroderma. And there's a lot of, there's so many people affected by it. They come out of the woodwork.
And yet it's one of those diseases that unless you have it in your family or you're affected by it. What I'm trying to say, it's not all that well known to most people. Yeah.
And what's strange is everybody here has seen someone with it because the disease does have a face, which is the irony of it. Your mouth becomes more distended. You lose your esophagus starts to deteriorate, and you have trouble breathing. But your fingertips digress, and it's a very recognizable disease. Sometimes people will think they're seeing someone who's been burned. Mm-hmm. And it's not. It's a person whose skin is changing, and it's a vascular disease. Some people nail it as an autoimmune disease, but it has many incarnations. Huge amount of misdiagnosis with this disease.
And so here you are. You're working as a comic, so you weren't as involved. I mean, you knew that you were raising money for this,
right?
But probably nowhere near as much as you know about it now since your sister.
Yes.
That's got to make you think. The guy that you are now would have been able to come up with a million different things for her to be able to do.
Well, that's one of the more frustrating things is that I think that had my sister been diagnosed just now, mm-hmm. I'd send her to Johns Hopkins to the center that we fund, and this guy's a star,
right.
And that's and they don't do it's like the AIDS cocktails. People are surviving,
Yeah.
10 years ago, everybody was losing somebody, but now they don't test your system like you're a guinea pig as much. They try a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and you realize that you don't have to be that invasive when you don't know what you're doing. But it's a great thing to be able to help people, and I'm such a cynical person by nature, and then when this happens, it just all goes away because I'll get a phone call and somebody say, I don't know what to do. My mother is being misdiagnosed. She's being treated so badly. My wife is really sick. Don't tell anybody, but she has scleroderma, and I know that you're like the poster boy. And I'll hook them up with a doctor because I know them through my foundation. They're the ones that do it all. These people and there's a couple foundations. Ours is the Scleroderma Research Foundation, sclerodermaresearch.org. But it's really amazing to be able to literally help people. And I'll get a call, and they'll say, my mother is doing well. She's not in pain, and the disease right now is on hold. And I'm like, wow, I'm not just some really annoying Jew comic.
Mm-hmm. And yet you are.
That's right. But and with that, I'd like to show you a picture of my taint.
No. I've seen it, but the smaller one. It came with the wallet. Yeah. Literally the same time.
That's what it is.
But, if you were
I have a courtroom artist sketch of my taint.
Really?
Yeah. It's hard to make out.
If you were the type of person who believed that maybe things happen for a reason, you know what I mean? It is a very strange...
You mean like the Holocaust?
Well, no, not so much that. But I mean that things that happen in our life for a reason, Has that ever,
Can I write letters complaining about myself right now?
Yeah. They're going to be a gigantic bin. You can just leave it here on the way out with the members of the audience. But you can think to yourself, is there some kind of connection between this happening to my sister? I'm all ready. Maybe that,
I do see things happen a lot like that. And I walk around touting in my incredibly narcissistic way to my children, to my girlfriend, to my ex-wife, to my mother. Sounds like I need a man in my life, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, my mother has testicles, but the thing is, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That wasn't your catchphrase, was it?
No, but they're not. I had a T-shirt.
It's from a different show.
Yeah, it was kind of like sit on it.
Yeah, right.
My Mother Has Testicles is actually a song that the Smiths did after Girlfriend in a Coma. They wrote My Mother Has Testicles. Do you hear a test pattern sound?
Almost. But I mean, if we look...
If I flatline right now, will you call anyone?
No. I'm just gonna start selling body parts. But if...
She does not have testicles, by the way. I didn't mean to say that she did.
I know that.
She cooks them.
Yeah.
Because she's a really good cook. And
I know.
Been a lot of...
We got to an uncomfortable spot. We gotta.
Wait a second.
We've got to do run-on.
Can I ask you a question?
Sentence.
You didn't ask me about this.
I didn't ask you about any of this.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought this was one of your questions.
Right. I think
your mother cooks testicles, right?
I
thought that's what you were.
I think what happened, you had a human emotion,
right,
and then you had to have a run-on sentence.
And had to do something heinous.
Right. Yes.
Who came up with that word?
Yeah. So. We got another question for you over here. With a guy with a... What's on your T-shirt? Oh.
Borat.
Yeah, Borat T-shirt.
Yeah, I watch Entourage quite a bit. I was just wondering, are we going to be seeing you anymore on that?
I don't... Yeah. Oh, that's very kind. I think when you... No, I've been there. I've done... my cameos have become a... I have a good 30-minute reel. That's really... It was a fun character to do. I'm trying to develop something that is along kind of those lines, but a little bit more dimensional as a full-on acting thing. A single-camera film show. But I don't have... They talked about it for a minute to have me come back as the neighbor. And if it was the right thing, I would do it. It was very interesting how they came about it. They just called and said, "You want to do the show?" And then Doug Allen wrote this version with my friends Rob Weiss and Cliff Dorfman and Chris Henschy's over there. All these crazy guys that talk like the guys talk. And they changed it for me. I just said I wasn't comfortable. And Doug said, well, why don't I just make him have the biggest balls of all time? He'll just be stupidly ballsy. I went, yeah, I'll do that. That'll be okay. And a couple weeks ago, I was sitting at my house in the backyard with a robe on. It was a white robe. And I hadn't shaved for about a week, and I was smoking a long cigar. And I didn't have mallow beads in my hand, and I wasn't holding a bong, but I looked at my girlfriend and said, I am turning into the cameo from Entourage. I don't know what is it. Let's take a jacuzzi, baby.
All right, Bob Saget with us, Unmasked of the show. You got the HBO special.
We never said the HBO thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did. I said the girls look like Seinfeld.
And you went from that, and then we all laughed.
Can I add something?
I would like to add something.
Like when people laugh, can we go back to that?
Yeah. No, they don't have to. That's the beauty of this.
That's
they don't
sweet.
have to laugh.
That's what's great about this. No one has to laugh at you, Bob.
You don't.
That's the kind of comedian you are.
Just because people don't laugh doesn't mean that you're dying. You
doesn't mean that they don't think you're funny.
Right.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I wanted to say is the special is on DVD as we speak because it aired. You know, it aired already.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And now
I remember when it came out. It was gigantic hit.
Came out. It did very well, and some people liked it, and a few people died watching it because it was upsetting. But it's on the DVD as we speak, and there's a thing on it. They have the Rollin' with Saget video that Jamie Kennedy did. I can't believe I'm saying my name in the sentence.
Yeah.
The Rollin' with Saget thing is on there, which was difficult because it had to be Warner Brothers coming over to Time Warner. It's two big conglomerates to make that happen. But then there's a thing called Strolling with Saget, where it's just a 11-minute piece of footage of me walking from Union Square to Washington Square, and I like that. I actually think I don't usually go, oh yeah, you've got to watch me. I usually can't watch myself. Not that I can watch myself, but I just walk past store owners' places and say how shitty their merchandise is. It's just me. And they called it Strolling with Saget, and it's like that Seinfeld bass guitar as I'm walking, and I'm going, look at that piece of shit. Look at that, and there'll be like little kid mannequins, those poor bastards. Then look at those little fuckers. It's just that's what it is for 11 minutes.
Where does that idea come from? And I know how we can fill 11 minutes.
No.
Follow me being mean.
It wasn't even that mean. It was like apologizing the whole way. If you and I walked down the street, we would look, what we would do, you're a comedian, all we would do is look at stuff and narrate it. That's all you're going to do. It's like I saw a bunch of, I don't think it made the thing, thank God, but those big green mailboxes, but there's no mailbox, there's no door on it, and I think it's for the service people. But I was looking at it going, what the fuck is that? There's no access to it. How do you get in it? What do you get out of it? Is it from another planet? Are plans in there? Do you know what that is?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
They protect us from terrorists. And
I shouldn't have called it a piece of shit then.
Yes. And now they know. Everything is ruined now.
The good news is those. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's your show.
No. Oh, that hasn't happened since minute one. That's the fact that this is my show is gone.
Oh, come on. You got a couple questions in. They were good.
I don't remember. I remember one question I had is, why are you doing this? I remember saying that from time to time.
But the audience at home didn't know what you were referring to,
Yes,
which was my hand was in your zipper.
Later, we're going to just dub in slurping noises.
This is like a whole fluffing Foley.
Right. That's how I'll basically get even. The fact that you wouldn't commit to anything is that we'll just edit this later just to make crude noises. Is that right, Bob? Why are you fucking the couch now?
That's all this is going to be.
That'll be it.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Why are you fucking the couch now? And I'll go, you're my Charlie Babbitt. And that's like, you just take anything from the past.
Anything and all that we
Taint.
need.
All I'll say is taint 9 times. See, a lot of people don't like that word. Where does this go, by the way? Is this, can families hear this? I know people are on the road right now. They're driving. They're at home in their incredible, gorgeous places that have this great XM package.
The strange thing about this leaves
they had
here
the Delphi
and goes
unit
up
put in the rectum
into a satellite. And it goes into space and then throughout the country. And this is what we've done with it. We've taken that marvelous technology and shit on it for an hour. It's just amazing. We got any more questions for Bob? All right, come on over here and grab the mic. Bob Saget on Unmasked. The HBO special is out right now. Go ahead, Big
How
man.
you doing, Bob? I was just wondering, with all the videos on YouTube with your act, do you find it hard to keep coming up with new material?
Well, I can't even really care about it because the good news is the audio is so bad you can't. and video-wise, you can't really see. Thank God I have a giant nose so that you know it's me. No, I mean the HBO special is that it's. I never say anything the same twice. Not because I wouldn't like to. I just don't have that facility. So the HBO thing was that hour that I've kind of been doing for I've been doing it for 7-8 years, but it always changes. It's about my my parents and my daughters and my dating and ex-girlfriends and my mother and and her testicle collection. It's a collection.
Right.
Right.
I have no idea where that came from.
It's delight.
Who just did that? That was amazing.
I can't believe that happened.
Yeah. So,
I didn't do that.
You have no idea when you're going to be writing jokes and where they're coming from, because I've seen you just jump into this, and I have a feeling you're not sure what the punchline is once you start.
That's often the case, and when there is one and I fuck it up, I'm very angry at myself.
Really?
Because I will do that. I'll know where I'm getting to, but it's really it's the journey. Mm-hmm. But once in a while, there's a few punchlines that are so good, like you didn't just come here for the hunting.
Well, you're not going to beat that. That's
how are you
for
going to
sure.
beat that? Why tell the joke?
Yeah.
But even in the Aristocrats, which I can't even. I mean, I didn't think it was going to go anywhere, and I just think it's a great piece of work that Paul and Penn made. Mm-hmm. I didn't tell the punchline because I had to go on stage. And I don't even like telling the punchline. The only way it really works, I think, if it's like a baby's first words are the Aristocrats. And he's part of the joke. But those are his very first words. And that's the very last thing you hear. Because and no one's laughing because that's horrific. But that's the point of the joke. Things get very quiet when you say the Aristocrats.
Yeah, they are. But basically, that's it for you. You just leap in, and there's some kind of faith that you're going to get to where you're going.
Actually, the thing that got me to dispel my fear the most is when I became a woman.
See? Did you notice the shock look on his face? He's going, I can't believe I fucked that up.
You actually found that delightful as well.
Yeah, I know. Because I'm like, I give up. I give up.
That's what I do. I wear you down until you're nothing but a blunt instrument. Yeah. I did this play in New York. I did this play called Privilege that Paul Weitz wrote, and I did 70 performances of it, and that was scarier than any stand-up will ever be because it was acting, and it was, I wanted to be as real as I could possibly be. So I think that was one of the greatest performance growth experiences that I ever had, doing an off-Broadway thing and having to be there every day.
And you have to fight off, hey, I just thought of a great joke, but I can't do it here?
I would add some things. I had latitude a little bit. There was a scene, there was like a 7-minute scene because I played an insider trader who had 2 sons that lied to them, and they had a real expensive bedroom the first act, like a Ralph Lauren bedroom. Second act, it was like a prison cell. They had a bunk bed thing, and they didn't have a maid anymore, and then he goes to jail at the end. Whoops, ruined the play.
Shit, I had tickets.
Darn it. Darn it. Oh, you set the Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
But there was a scene in it where I had to make a bed, which I didn't know how to do, and it was about 7 to 10 minutes long, where I had to, on stage live, try to make this double bunk bed and freak out to the place where I am just reduced. I'm just a sack of shit by the end of it. And so that there was a huge amount of improv throughout the thing. But for the most part, you got to hit your lines and hit your marks and not screw up,
Are you looking for a film role like that? I mean, would that be
Yeah, there's a couple of things, actually. I'm in a nice place right now because this was gorgeous what you've done with
Thank
it.
You. Thank you.
And I like the chairs because I feel Jim Norton's drippings. His bastings. Yeah, there's a couple things on the burner. I better go turn them off.
Well, I know you're on your way to do stand-up right now.
I am. I'm going to go do the thing. The big thing.
Doing the big thing.
Big thing. A lot of people.
And I will see you on TV. We'll see you on cable. And
I'll see you here. I'll come back here and get this right.
I really want to do that. Seriously.
Yeah, I really want a second take on this.
Yes. Well, this one will never air. So, Bob Saget, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Unmasked on XM. Truth in comedy.
Unmasked. Swimming through the inner soul of the comedic mind.
This XM exclusive comedy presentation was recorded at the XM Performance Theater in Washington, D.C.
With thanks to Stacy Pokluda, Michael O'Brien, Brina Grossman, and Matt Kelly at Central Talent Booking, Jamie Carr, Chris Walsh, and Rick Hamilton. Unmasked with Bob Saget was hosted by Ron Bennington, recorded by Alex Hodge, editing by William E. Black, post-production by Aaron Lee, executive producer Kenny Curtis.
Kimmy Gibbler got it this way. That ain't right.
Unmasked is produced exclusively by XM Satellite Radio.